Pain-free joints is one of those things that you just can't put a price on. So with Solace Joint Care, I was really impressed with Sol, as always, because we have a new stab at a familiar topic. Dealing with joint function, relevant to most users, is going to be the joint comfort. Joint comfort can come a lot from dealing with inflammation, dealing with discomfort that is associated with that inflammation. We've got 2 ingredients in here that are new and very fun. We have a host of other ingredients that are going to be very important. So let's jump into it and talk about the ingredients in Solace Joint Care from Sol Performance Nutrition. Now, the first ingredient here is the first time I've ever talked about this ingredient. This is coming out of NutraShure, which also did SmartPrime. We'll be talking about it in a bit, but off the top, from the biggest dosages, we've got 800 milligrams of Caraflame. Now, Caraflame is a blend of sodium butyrate, Beta-Carotene, Lycopene, Astaxanthin, Lutein, Beta-Carotene, Zeaxanthin, and Retinyl Palmitate. We're going to talk about these one at a time. So sodium butyrate, also known as butyric acid, has actually been studied extensively for anti-inflammatory, so that's a good sign. The general nature of butyrate's anti-inflammatory effects are going to be coming from the fact that it seems to improve symptoms of colitis and proctitis. It also can help out with IBS. And one of the big things that you're going to notice, I'm going to be talking about inflammation in general here, which might have more to do with your body than just joint discomfort. Beta-Carotene is one of the primary constituents of black pepper, which is well known to be anti-inflammatory. Now, this is going to activate cells CB2 receptors, cannabinoid receptors, who are known for anti-inflammatory effects. It lowers interleukin 1 beta, interleukin 6, and TNF alpha. Now, these are really important markers for inflammation. We saw this also with sodium butyrate, and this is probably going to be a common concept that we'll be mentioning a decent amount here. Lycopene, which is an antioxidant that we find in tomatoes, is also very important and anti-inflammatory. Now, again, this is going to downregulate a bunch of interleukins, including TNF alpha, who we've already talked about. And we talk about lycopene a lot for prostate health, but one of the reasons it deals with prostate health is because blood lycopene levels are inversely correlated to levels of C-reactive proteins, CRP. And now CRP is one of the primary biomarkers for systemic inflammation. We're going to talk about inflammation a lot here, and one of the big considerations with inflammation is systemic versus acute inflammation. When you train your bicep and you then have inflammation in the bicep, that's acute inflammation. Dealing with that it's not something you want to deal with. You want your body to run its normal course and allow to do the things that it's going for. But if you have systemic inflammation, if your body is overall covered in inflammation, if you have high biomarkers of inflammation, that is really what we're talking about here. Beta-Carotene synergizes well with lycopene. This is going to be the next ingredient in Caraflame. Together, these suppress inflammation to a greater degree than either one of those compounds alone. It's known to downregulate TNF alpha again, but also COX-2, which is an enzyme that creates inflammatory prostaglandins. This is going to be a lot of the ways that NSAIDs like ibuprofen and acetaminophen work through COX-2 enzymes. One important thing is not to take these kinds of ingredients post-workout. Anything that inhibits COX-2 is going to inhibit hypertrophy. So the same reason you don't take Tylenol or acetamin post-workout, don't take this stuff either. Rounding out on the end here, we've got Zeaxanthin, which again helps out a lot with TNF alpha, a main inflammatory marker, and Retinyl Palmitate, which is an active form of vitamin A. Many of us are deficient in vitamin A, and that can have a lot to do with systemic inflammation. So getting this in will be very helpful. Now, this is bolstered up by our next ingredient, SmartPrime. Now, I've talked about SmartPrime a lot. It is our innovation of the year for 2022. NutraShure, with the late, great Dr. Hector Lopez, created an incredible ingredient that helps shift the balance of omega-6 and 3 in our best interest. SmartPrime is a antioxidant and anti-inflammatory blend that affects polyunsaturated fatty acid metabolism. Now, by doing this and changing the expression of different genes, SmartPrime actually increases our body's metabolism of omega-3 while decreasing the metabolism of omega-6. A really great watch on this is our podcast with Hector Lopez or my deep dive on SmartPrime. I'm not going to go as deep in this video because I need to keep moving through this product. But this matters in short because humans overconsume omega-6 and underconsume omega-3. We should be consuming them at a 1-to-1 ratio. But now, modern Americans consume on average 15 times more omega-6 than 3. That skewed percentage is what drives a huge inflammation response in modern America. What's cool about this is that because we can change our diets, we can improve our diet with those types of intakes. However, it's going to be hard with a lot of modern food, with processed foods out there, it's going to be difficult to lower that omega-6. SmartPrime helps kind of supercharge our genetics. Some areas of the world have already kind of evolutionarily figured this out. If you are not near a coast, it's possible that your body metabolizes omega-6s much lower and metabolizes omega-3s a lot more. SmartPrime is designed to do that dietarily through a supplement in your body. From there, we hit an ingredient that I absolutely love talking about when it comes to joint health, discomfort, and just dealing with training. Palmitoyl ethanolamide. Now, this is Levagen Plus, branded version of PEA that uses liposperse as a delivery mechanism. We have 350 milligrams of this. Now, palmitoyl ethanolamide, which I'm probably just going to call PEA from now on because it's easier, is documented as anti-inflammatory, analgesic, antimicrobial, immunomodulatory, and neuroprotective. Our body naturally produces this, but our body really only produces it at the rate that we need it, so most of us would stand to benefit from using it supplementally. PEA has been used for treatment of influenza, the common cold, irritable bowel syndrome. There's 350 papers indexed on PubMed discussing PEA's wide range of benefits. So it seems like PEA works through activating PPAR alpha, which then ultimately downregulates inflammation cytokine production, but it also has some activity on the endocannabinoid system as well. There's one very interesting study showing that upregulation of the endocannabinoid system might even stop the progression of arthritis. So dealing with the endocannabinoid system is going to be very important for a lot of us. When it comes to managing pain for joint formulas, PEA is a very favorite pick for mine when I'm working with brands. I've never used this version here until I got Solace Joint Care, which uses liposperse to help deliver it a little bit. Now, liposperse is a crystalline molecular covering, acts as a hydrophilic envelope, which really delivers the product a lot better. This is going to prevent fat-soluble compounds from forming clumps in liquids. Now, we aren't putting this in a liquid, but it's a highly sophisticated emulsifier. It's been shown in peer-reviewed studies to improve the bioavailability of actual curcumin and PEA, and we do have both of those in this product. Moving into that curcumin, we have Curcuwin Ultra Plus. Now, this is going to be a 20% minimum of curcuminoids, and the full dosage is at 250 milligrams. Pretty much everyone who has ever taken a supplement probably knows about curcumin. Curcumin is the active constituent in turmeric. It is one of the best anti-inflammatory products on the market. Curcuminoid compounds inhibit COX-2. Again, a very similar thing we were talking about before. This is how NSAIDs, acetaminophen's work. This is going to help a lot with systemic inflammation. Now, Sol Performance used Curcuwin Ultra Plus instead of a lot of other curcumins on the market, and there's good reason for that. First of all, it's high purity and it's standardized. That off the bat is a win on top of generics. But above that, it also touts a 144 times greater bioavailability and 40% faster absorption than standard curcumin. It's even been studied at this exact dosage. 8 weeks, 250 milligrams led to reduced muscle soreness, and that was talking post-exercise. From there, we've got hyaluronic acid at 100 milligrams. This is an awesome ingredient for a bunch of different reasons. First of all, if you're trying to grow hair, you probably shouldn't take advice from me, but I do grow it in some places, and hyaluronic acid has always helped me with that. It's also great for skin and nails. It is, however, in terms of joint discussion, a lubricating substance, naturally occurs in joints, eyes, connective tissue. It helps to retain water molecules throughout the body. Now, there's a ton of research in injectable hyaluronic acid, but that's not what we are talking about here. In oral, there is a bunch, including a 2016 review of overall hyaluronic acid literature, specifically showing it lowers knee pain. Now, on top of its lubricating effects, of course, we do have to say, it reduces inflammation by increasing production of an anti-inflammatory cytokine instead of lowering the production of an inflammatory cytokine, this time being interleukin 10. Now, overall, Solace Joint Care here is a very different stab at joint care. We're super excited about it. I do have to say, I got this product for free, and we do have a business affiliate relationship with some of the ingredient companies in here, though not with Sol themselves. As always, guys, thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.